and we expect that many people will be watching it in person, but also later after the meeting as well. And at this point, I would like to invite the Chancellor of Aoyama Gakuin, Chancellor Yoshiharu Yamamoto, to come and give greetings on behalf of Aoyama Gakuin. And hold on just a second. Let me change the screen over here. Just a moment. Okay.
皆さん、青山学院で行われるIAMSCUリサーチ大学シンポジウムにようこそいらっしゃいました。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ninth.
この IAMSCU のリサーチ、大学のシンポジウムは2015年から始まって、今年が9回目となります。
This symposium time we've done this.
開催にあたっては、
Appreciation to IAMSCU, Ethics Board of Higher Education, the National Institute Foundation of Korea, and the Korean Association of Christian Liberal Arts.
また、会社である大学の主大学、ワンダ先生もお越しいただいています。ありがとうございます。
We're also very thankful to have the president of West College. Dr. Nanda.
人工知能教育と人工知能の未来を描くという大切なテーマを掲げています。
The theme of this year's conference is Artificial Intelligence and Social Transformation, Future of Education and AI, which is one of the most important issues of our time.
青山学院は2020年、創立150周年。私たちは知の死をよく聞かれというスクールモットーをもとに教育を進めています。
Under the model of salt, being to your servant leaders.
それは愛と奉仕の精神を持って、すべての人と社会とに対する責任を進んで果たす人、すなわちサーバントリーダーを育てることを目指しています。
We want to nurture servant leaders with to all peoples and societies with a spirit of love and service.
AI などによる技術革新が速度的に進んでいます。
So we know that these are bringing the improvement of technology is bringing many changes to the world.
この革新によってもたらされる世界、それは誰もの人格が守られる世界でなければなりません。そして誰もが安心して暮らせる世界でなくてはなりません。そして誰もが教育を受けられる世界でなくてはならないと思います。
These changes will bring about a world where everyone and education education is
それぞれがいただいている賜物を互いの先をつける、支配ある共同体をするということが必要だと思います。
It merely supports each other in love and bound together by love.
シンポジウムがまたそれらの世界を作るための助けとなることを期待しています。
Will contribute such
このシンポジウムに参加してくださった皆様に重ねて感謝を申し上げて私の挨拶といたします。
So with these greetings, I want to extend again my thanks to all of you for your participation today. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。
And at this point, I would like to invite the president of APAME, the Asia Pacific Association of Methodist Educational Institutions, and the president of Wesleyan College of Manila, President Rita Miranda, to come and offer greetings to us.
Thank you, Dr. Shew. I bring greetings from the Asia Pacific Association of Methodist-related educational institutions. First, by thanking Chancellor Yamamoto and Aoyama Gakuin University for the generosity of hosting this year's symposium.
まず、私は、アジアパシフィックのメソディス関係大学から、挨拶を申し上げたいと思います。特に、山本委員長と愛学院がこのイベントをホストしてくださることを感謝いたします。
Second, let me also extend our gratitude to all the speakers who selflessly spend time to be with us to share their expertise in the field of artificial intelligence in social transformation.
そして次は、今日講演者一人一人にも心から感謝申し上げたいと思います。そのためには多くの時間を、人工知能と教育、社会変革のテーマに関して私たちのために時間を割いてくださったことを心から感謝します。
Our appreciation also extends to the members of the board of APAME who are here with us, Dr. Yang Min-Fake, Dr. Nir Jamasi, of course, Dr. Shew, and Dr. Jun Bok-Sik. I haven't seen him, but I saw him yesterday. So thank you for the support for this year's conference.
また、アパメの理事の皆様も今年のカンフランスのために、今日出席してくださっていることも感謝します。
Most of all to you, Dr. Shew, for all the preparation and efforts you put through for this to be possible.
特に、周先生のためにも心から感謝します。
You see, what made this conference very meaningful to me was when you said a while ago that when this university underwent transformation or renovation way back in the year 2000, you were able to preserve that historical garden.
今日の、前の、会議の時には、おっしゃったことなんですけれども、この、キャンパスを2000年ぐらいの時にそれをリフォームした時にこの古い歴史的な、日本提案を、保管したことを聞いてて、それはとても大切と思いました。
Because you know what it means? It means that we are in a place where innovation and tradition blend seamlessly.
なぜかというと、イノベーションと伝統が、両方とも共存することができるからです。
Aoyama Gakuin University is able to embrace the limitless possibilities of human creativity and at the same time upholds its rich cultural heritage.
アイム学院は人間の無限の可能性を、育むとともに、
And I find it
What was the second part of that?
and is able to uphold, respect, and maintain its rich cultural heritage.
そして同時にこの文化的遺産を大切にしてます。
And I find it amazing and unique. Shall we give Aoyama Gakuin University of Lima.
ありがとう感謝します。
Truly, artificial intelligence has changed the way we see, the way we think, the way we perceived, but there are things that has to stay on.
人工知能は確かに私たちの見ること、聞くこと、いろんなことを変化させているということもありますが、しかしその中で変わらないこともあります。
And I look forward in this gathering for us to move forward with that in mind through collaboration and networking. APAME, IAMSCU, there are so many others. Korean Academy of Christianity and Liberal Arts, the National Research Foundation of Korea, and of course, the GBHEM.
はい、ですから、今日はその精神を大切にし、今日このシンポジウムのホストとまた支援者一同それぞれの組織機関が共にその精神を持って今日これに参加することができればと願っています。
We started a very meaningful exchange of ideas this morning, and I look forward to a more engaging discussion this afternoon.
今朝は興味深い研究会を持ちました。そして私はこの午後にこのような開かれたシンポジウムの開催を楽しみにしています。
May God continue to bless us as we move forward to be the salt and light of this world. Good afternoon.
はい、私たちは地の地を世の光となることができるようにどうか神様がこの集まりをこれからも導き出すことができるように願っています。Thank you very much for your greetings for us. And now we are ready to move on to our presentations. We will have two presentations. Each one will be about 25 minutes each. Then after that, we will have about 25 minutes of discussion. それでは講演の方に進みたいと思います。それぞれが約25分ぐらいのもので、その後には約25分間のディスカッションを持ちます。The discussion is a key element of this symposium because I know that this is a new field, a new change for education for all of us. We all have ideas and thoughts about this. So let us take in the lectures and then engage with each other and in discussion. 私たちはこの新しい改革に関してそれぞれの思いと考えがありますので、講演を聞いてから積極的にディスカッションをしたいと思います。So now it is time for our first presenter, Mr. Yun Han, who Shanghai University of Finance and Economics, Shanghai International Banking and Finance Institute. He is also from the Philippines, where he is serving at Wesleyan College Lakeview campus. So let us all give a big hand to Mr. Yun Huan. Thank you very much.
Okay, good afternoon. And yeah, it's a pleasure to stand here and share some ideas about AI and the situation of the AI in China. And this morning we had some shared ideas, and I've heard a lot of ideas about AI that talking about how the educators. Oh, okay, great. Educators that put a lot of thoughts into how to adapt AI into the work. I think this is the same worries for all the people in different industries. So my topic that will have three parts. First part is about the AI situation in China. This part might be a little boring. Most of the all the informations that I get are from the big medias from China and the governmental research institutions, the public reports that I've been read and have a summary of that. Basically, those summary, I also use the technology of AI to help me to be more efficient and work faster. I use the Kimi chat which is a AI that just upload the PDF file and also give the link of the article I'm going to read. It will help me to summary, and I can just ask questions. It will help me to answer the questions very fast. And also use the ChatGPT, of course, and some Chinese AI system, Huawei and the Baidu system as well. Okay, with a lot of numbers in the first part. That's why I have a content prepared, because otherwise I cannot remember. Second part is the AI practice that I've been practiced on AI samples that I've been used, and could give some ideas that now, because earlier we discussed about AI is not totally right, and it's not accurate in some of the circumstances. And I would like just to tell that how I use the AI and use the current AI system to plus my judgment to have the best output that I can have. The last part, I will just share some ideas I've been thinking about AI. It is more talk about future, and hopefully that could give some ideas to everyone, so everyone could explore a new way to see AI. Okay, so first day that we all experienced the pandemic, the directly cost to our life is the consumption downgrade. During this impact of the pandemic, that we all have the idea that, okay, so we used to dine outside meal, but now we cook at home. It's still good. And in the same time that before we maybe in China that people buy the expensive outfit from Canada Goods, but now it's very popular. This green military old style outfit is popular in China. And also the people are not going to the out of country to travel. They mostly choose the domestic travel. This is a big change of the consumption of the people's behavior. And this also directly affects some Chinese companies that I want to share some idea about Temu and Pinduoduo. This is a very famous Chinese company, reputed by its low price product offered to the public, and it is already it is 100 place of 175 among 500 fortunes companies in China. It is the growth very fast. Another example about the consumption downgrade. Now, instead of Starbucks, people are choosing the cheaper milk tea and the Luckin coffee, which is Chinese brand, that for their daily beverage consumptions. This brand, for example, this milk tea brand, there are over 36,000 shops at 11 countries by the end of the 2023 year, and they offer 30 cents ice cream, 60 cents US dollar lemon tea with real lemon in it. And the 2023, the hottest traveling tourist spot in China is not go to other country, go to Japan, or go to Southeast Asia, Thailand. People choose to go to western part of China and the northeast part of China, which is Harbin on the left side. Right side is Western China. Can see crowd of people go to the winter during winters for snow, and the camels just fall in the line. It's a big traffic in the west part of China. In our history, human history, I want to bring this idea about our economic is always going up and down because of all the facts that because of this pandemic or other things, but it's always an opportunity. Even the consumption consumption downgrade, we can still seek for a good opportunity to grow the business or have the opportunity to make some good enterprise. And for us now, AI actually is the biggest opportunity, or anything related to AI is the biggest opportunity for us. That this is also based on a experience of non-generation. We've been experiencing many revolutions, from the Industrial Revolution to the computer, to the internet, mobile internet, and now AI. Every 10 to 20 years, our life has a big change. And we always believe that in next 20 years, our life will have a big change and better. This is unlike like if we are the two farmers that back in 500 years, our parents or our grandparents would live the same life in the farm, dressed in the same clothes, even after 2 generations, still say. But now we are in a really rapidly developing era that our technology develop very fast. So that gives us idea that we always have a very positive mind about the future. So about this is also the idea that in people in China thinking about AI, we are very positive about it. So for AI, China has many AI policies. So I've been drafted some outlines about China's policy. There is an outline of China's 14th five-year plan, which Chinese government every 5 years will have a prepare a 5-year plan for the future. And it is started from 1953. It is already 14th, so it's been lasted 70 years till now. It is a good thing about the government's direction, orientation, that to always set up a direction into a very specific point in the future. And in the April of 2021, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology supported the creation of Beijing, Tianjin, Hangzhou, many major cities in China, to have the National Artificial Intelligence Innovation and Application Pilot Zone. So that government has put a lot of effort and resources to motivate and to push the business and the companies to invest into the AI industry. And this is a graph about China's national AI industry development scale, that you can see from 2018 to 2022, it is a big increase of the total output of it. It is growth by 18% averagely every year, and it already reached 508 billion Chinese yuan. Give an idea about how big this number is. In China, the entertainment moving industry is about 30 million Chinese yuan. It is 530 million Chinese yuan in movie industry in China for entertainment. Another fun fact about entertainment, the short video that we all see, there's a real shot and some new applications. The short video industry already reached 20 million Chinese yuan, which is 60% of the traditional movie industry in China. It is also grows very fast. Another good opportunity. Many Chinese companies are taking short videos and even set up company overseas to other country, launch some applications. If you search YouTube, you will find some Chinese shooted foreign short videos. Anyway, this is the industry from the basic level to the technical level and the application level, which is the industry from the top to the middle to the lower level. And for the top level, you can see there's data resources, hardware infrastructure, computation. They are the basic level to provide the basic say that infrastructure for the AI industry, and go through with the general technology, the software model that could provide to the company with a computation model for them to build their system, and have the application. We have the product services, industrial solutions in different percentage of the Shanghai AI industry level. From this picture, that could see the number of companies has been set in Shanghai from different level of the industry. And one thing that you can see in the drone, in that which is application level, the last one drone, there are 1,612 plus companies in Shanghai specifically work from the drone industry. This is a huge number, and they believe that drone is a new technology with AI advance. It could benefit many things for the geographic analysis, supervision, and delivery. Many industry could be benefited by it. And using the technology of drone, you can think that our city is built in 2 dimensions. The wall that we build is for the people who walk on the street, so they just prevent people from outside of the wall. But have you imagined that if there is a wall that it's not in 2 dimensions, it's in 3 dimensions, people can go through the wall, then it will certainly change the whole thing about the city, the whole setup of the city. And even the door, if in case that like the sci-fi movie, the people can have a backpack and can fly using the technology of drone, then you can imagine that by that city, it is a huge demand, new demand for everyone. Who wouldn't like to have a flying backpack and live in a more modern city in different system? You don't even have the door on the ground floor. You can have the door in any floor to open to your home. The hotel reception might not in the ground floor, in other floor as well. But it's possible. Maybe someday the entrepreneur like Elon Musk, he plan to go to Mars someday, maybe want to build a new city in this kind of system and ask people to migrate there. Okay, this is the AI industry in Shanghai. You can see 3 pictures, which are the 3 developing AI zone for the companies that to have the, mostly they will give benefit to the companies for them to move to the industry zone to, join the AI industry. There are 3 of them. And which from the left is the Shanghai western side of River AI Power Project, this one, the left one. And this project, you can see this is a real picture from real time, so it's already being built. The one in the middle is the Zhangjiang AI Island, which is in the eastern side of Shanghai. It's also being built. It's a real picture as well. And the last one is Maqiao AI in the western side of Shanghai. 3 zones, all with big project investment to develop the AI. Okay, so with all those, the investment into the AI industry, what are the advantages of Chinese AI development? From my idea that Shanghai first or China. China has the biggest size of internet user in the world. This is the number of the from Wikipedia that China has 76.4% of the internet user. Mention about the percentage is not the biggest of Korea and Japan is bigger than Shanghai, RB China. But mention about the quantity of internet user because of the population, still the biggest population. The internet user, meaning the bigger data that AI could use big data to be trained and turns out to be more advanced and more intelligent. And also with this, Chinese market is big, so it could provide the market with free services that the user size would attract the investment from the market to invest into a big population industry. So the industry could develop faster than other country. Just like the food delivery company. In China, we have food delivery company that it's being established on 2009, named Ele.me, which is Are You Hungry? That is company. The company was established by a student from Shanghai Jiao Tong University. He stayed in the dormitory of the university. He was hungry, thinking about to ask his roommate to buy the food for him, but the roommate refused him. So he thought, why the small restaurants don't have delivery service? Why don't develop an application for the user to use? That's the Grab, Food Panda, now originally from this. Then he personally participated into it. And in the beginning, because the market don't know whether this model would work or not, because it's free. So in China, it's a big population, big user base. So the company is easily to get the investment. If you invest to a industry not being approved that it could be profitable, and eventually it's success. Now it become a big company that by the end of 2022, this Chinese food delivery market size was 941.74 billion Chinese yuan. And it is the 25% of the total catering industry and still growing. Okay, so another thing about the advantage of Chinese AI is the size of computer technology related manpower. Still, not mention about the percentage, but the population itself is big. We have about 6 to 7 million related technology manpower, and it is has 68.2% they have bachelor's degree, and 9.3% have master degree. But for the doctoral degree, it's still low. It's only 0.1%. So this part is still developing. In the past 3 years, it is also an explosive year for the new AI major in colleges and the universities in China. The first batch of colleges and universities in China, they offer AI undergraduate majors, began recruiting students in 2018. And as of 2022, a total of 440 colleges and universities in 4 batches across the country has been approved to set AI majors. It's counting about 34.6% of 1,270 undergraduate colleges and universities in China. So from 2020 to 2022, it is 180 130 and 95 university being approved to offer AI major related AI majors. Currently, the first batch of AI undergraduate students already graduate and into the job market. The last one is about the government support and orientation. So the government, a centralized government, basically, that could invest more in resources to the AI industry as long as they set up a target and direction for it. Okay, so this part is mostly about the numbers, so it's boring. The next part, I'm going to about the AI, what AI could do to our lives. This is the general kind of the AI tools that we can find in the market. There are AI writing tools, graphic tools, video tools. Of course, the graphic and the video tools is already being very advanced. You can easily find some model and tools from GitHub, from some free tools that you can use. And in the Telegram, you can easily find many groups that are selling or sharing some AI software you can use for like changing the face, editing video. Of course, this is also related to the sometimes crimes. There's a real story about my school assistant. She is Chinese, that she experienced once a person called her through WeChat, video call her mom, then showing her face, talking to her mom about, I need money, mom, please send me money. And this is not from her, it is from some scammer using AI to change the face, and it is just like real, calling her mom. Her mom almost believed that, but turns out her mom said that the pajama, the AI person, the person's dressing is too mature. Her daughter usually just dress in a child pajama. So that is the way her mom find out. But technology itself, changing the face, is really advanced now. You can see many videos now in YouTube that they are changing face by talking. Even let in Chinese internet, they even let President of the United States to speak Chinese, just like real. So there are so many tools that we can use. And this is one of the tools I've been tried. You can see there's a painting. I guess it's very difficult to tell what is it, right? Truth is, I painted and I sent it to the AI, let AI give some comments. As you can see here, the AI said it is charming piece of child art, but it says it is a cat, which it is a cat. It is using a free model that can download from GitHub. Then they share. You can download into your computer, then use that to detect the painting or picture that you sent. It will give comments about it. And yes, surprisingly, it knows this is a cat. And this is another example that I've been used a Chinese AI. Of course, ChatGPT or Copilot could do the same. I'm using it to do the programming. I thought that I want to make a simple program for the elementary student that could automatically generate the mathematical questions, plus, minus, multiply, dividing into a exam, so they can answer that. So I just asked the AI about make a software to generate a mathematics question for grade 2 students. Then it directly give me the code. Then I put code into the VS Code. Then see there's a answer over there. You can see on the right side, there's a question for -8. equal, then just answer it incorrect because I answered 12. Then it give me the correct answer. Then I put more information, ask more from this AI, ask it to add, multiply, and divide into it. Then it gave me more code to generate more functions into this software. Together, I also tried a software. Of course, I'm using a Chinese AI. I don't know why I used the English to ask questions. After all, turns out to talk to me in Chinese. But if you use ChatGPT, don't worry, it won't happen. It gives me a more complete system that could have the mathematical questions. So I think it means that any parents during the vacation, summer vacation at home, want kid to do some mathematics, not necessary to go to the internet to looking for software. You can easily make one for yourself and have all the functions that you want. Oh, yes. Okay. And also I tried the English. It's a English question about how to memorize the vocabulary and the words using AI. Okay, so those are some practices that are being tried. And the last part that I want to talk about some relationship between human and the AI. First, what do we want from AI? This is a robot from Elon Musk, new Optimus. It's very advanced. Tesla has been, only in a year, it's been upgraded 3 times for 3 versions. And it can detect, just like a human already. And what we have for our machine are just an extension of our body. And we use them to extend our body. But what is AI? AI is not, basically, we are thinking that might be the extension of our mind. But AI is so advanced, it's using all our information to train themselves. And eventually, if it becomes the replacement of our mind, and it replaces our mind together with the extension of our body, so it will do most of the things, or all the things that human being can do. So by that time, what do we want from AI? And second, what does AI want for now? AI is using our information to train themselves. It is just repeating every great things from human history. And it is learning how to judge what is good, what is bad. I've been uploaded my painting, that cat, into the AI. Of course, the AI knows this is bad. Of course, the trainer will ask AI to learn from some masterpiece. But I am thinking that if in the future, the data is, there are a lot of data, more data that AI need, what would be the people, which is us? The people, someone might provide useful information, someone might provide useless information. What would the people be? Those people provide useless information. Will we just being like nutrition for AI, and eventually AI will replace us and do most of things, and people cannot provide useful information? Would they be eliminated from the job market, from the society? Then, and how powerful the AI could be? Thinking that AI, eventually that it will be, there are so many words, but of course could download that. I have some ideas about this. So for short, that what we have for the AI in future, it's just like the AI might be way more powerful than we can imagine. And by that time, I'm thinking that the AI would be, key point is, it will bring out a new principle, just like the capitalism, socialism, or communism. It would be a new reason that to our society, to human being, because of the development of the AI. And the last thing, the opportunity, how AI might change the world. Those are the AI generated picture that I talk about. If there's people could fly, I give some idea. It gives to me how this city would look like. But I want to say is in the old time, when the time that in history, the king, control the city, they have their warrior and army. Those army was born to be trained. So the farmers or the people that being ruled could not fight with the kingdom. Then after that, human being invented firearms. It being easily to train, and that is happened demographic. People start to the revolution, turn down the old system, become a new system. And the non-AI, AI might be the new firearm to everyone, that everyone could use that to into a new era, a new system, a new world that we will see. So in future, anyone could hold this firearm, a new weapon that would adapt into the new world. Otherwise, it would be eliminated from the system possibly. Those are just the ideas that I have. Okay. Then those are the QR code that could scan for the PowerPoint, something that you can read from that. And also the content, left is PowerPoint, right is content. I've been right for this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. A lot of information for us to think about. For me, a very new, totally new information about AI in China. Thank you so much for your lecture. Our second presentation is by Professor Ik-sung Shin of Songkong-ho University in Korea. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing it correctly, am I? Thank you very much. Presenting on the direction of Christian liberal education in the age of artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm teaching at Songkong-ho University. And the Korean word Songkong-ho means Anglican Church of Korea. So of course, I'm not an Anglican priest. I'm a Methodist minister. And unfortunately, I have no PPT presentation. So I just read my prepared presentation paper, like an old-fashioned first generation AI. Have a good time. And my theme is the direction of Christian liberal education in the age of artificial intelligence. There are maybe two challenges in the age of artificial intelligence. If we agree that the era we live in now deserves to be called the age of artificial intelligence, we need to think about what makes AI special enough to define the era. There are already many words and questions floating around like memes regarding these specialness. So I asked ChatGPT, something people do all the time these days, especially all teachers and students. ChatGPT said that this era is special in that it's an important time when AI technology is developing rapidly and being applied to various fields. However, many human beings seem to think that artificial intelligence can rival human intelligence and consciousness. Due to the rapid development of AI, it is imagined that AI will soon reach a level similar to or surpass that of human intelligence. In this case, the following questions are possible. Can humans and AI love each other? if AI becomes superior to human intelligence, won't it dominate humans? Isn't AI going to cause humans to become extinct? Well, the reason why these questions are possible is probably because people think they can compare artificial intelligence and human intelligence. In order to compare two objects and gauge their level, there must be some characteristics that they have in common. In the case of artificial intelligence and human intelligence, one of the most crucial common characteristics is intelligence itself. In the end, only when we know what intelligence is can we compare and judge the levels of artificial intelligence and human intelligence. But what is intelligence? In neuroscience, intelligence is defined as life's ability to interact, to adapt to the given environment. Intelligence is related to the organic characteristics of living beings that communicate with their surroundings to maintain their lives. If a single-celled organism moves avoiding obstacles, it has demonstrated intelligence. The extension of branches by trees to receive sunlight can also be considered as an intelligent activity of those trees. Indeed, intelligence can be considered as a very comprehensive concept associated with the active activities that a living organism engages in to sustain its life. What happens in the human brain is only a part of this intelligence. Artificial intelligence created by mimicking the human brain can be seen not as intelligence itself, but rather as a part of intelligence, specifically as computational intelligence that mimics and enhances only limited aspects of human intelligence within restricted domains. AI is either a different intelligence from human intelligence, or it is merely computational intelligence that imitates part of human intelligence to a limited extent and enhances only its limited areas, in that it does not have a body as a medium for interaction with the environment, and at the same time, a realization of that interaction. If the superintelligence that current artificial intelligence can achieve exceeds the singularity, which is the minimum point where it surpasses human intelligence, this is possible only if it is limited to the computational ability that is a part of human intelligence. Therefore, the direct comparison of artificial intelligence and human intelligence is currently impossible, and is due to a kind of categorical error. Neuroscientists estimate, I skipped this paragraph. While AI algorithms emulate the human brain and computing systems with sufficient storage and processing capabilities that support these algorithms undergo significant advancements, AIs are increasingly building themselves as more useful beings in human civilization. However, what exactly has AI sought to emulate in the human brain? Although humans have gained much understanding of the brain, there is still an incredible amount unknown about it. Even though successful in expressing the transmission of information in the brain with mathematical formula by the mid-20th century, the specific mechanism of information transfer is inherently non-linear, making it theoretically challenging to comprehend the exact details. This applies to artificial neural networks designed by referencing the neural networks of the brain also. Even though AI is a reference to human intelligence, it is a different category of intelligence that cannot be compared to human intelligence itself. But at the same time, due to the very fact that reference is made to the brain, which is part of human intelligence, there are areas that are in principle unknowable, like human intelligence. In other words, AI is not an intelligence that can be compared one-to-one with human intelligence, but there are areas that overlap with human intelligence in principle and function. It is precisely due to this fact that AI can present a significant challenge to humanity. First, even if AI is limited to computational intelligence, precisely because of this fact, in an industrialized society, AI can become a more valuable intelligence than human intelligence. Industrial societies are closely linked to the capitalist form of life, which pursues maximum profit based on efficiency. So, intelligence that efficiently achieves given goals without reflective consciousness becomes a valuable labor subject in such societies. Actually, AI has grown into a commodity within industrial societies, entering the labor market in this way. In this capitalist mechanism, the AI arms race is also encouraged. Second, just as we cannot concretely describe how the human brain processes information at the level of neural networks, there is no way for humans to know what happens within the input and output layers of neural network AI models that mimic human brain. This shows that human ignorance about AI is the result of the fact that AI is the partial imitation of human intelligence in specific areas. This is the point of overlap between artificial and human intelligence. And it is precisely at this point that AI can challenge humanity. This is where the possibility arises for AI to go beyond human control. Despite the fact that current artificial intelligence is the result of partial imitation and expansion of human intelligence, it stands out as a meaningful entity in industrial society, using the law of scale as a weapon, and is posing a challenge to the meaning of human existence. And due to difference from human intelligence, the computational process of artificial intelligence that is unknown to humans can pose a challenge to human existence itself. This demands a deeper contemplation of the relational characteristic of intelligence as we approach the era of AI. So, we must reinterpret spirituality for the direction of Christian liberal education. The fact that AI at its current level has already acquired sufficient social relationships in industrial society, and the fact that the inevitability of human ignorance regarding isolated computational intelligence, the artificial neural networks, devoid of interactive relationships with the environment for its homeostasis, can be a source of genuine fear. These two facts underscore the need for a deepened relational understanding of intelligence in understanding AI and issues that arise from coexisting with it. In this regard, it is essential to consider the insight of Kyungmin Lee. He is a neuroscientist who suggests a broad reinterpretation of spirituality as a theological response to the request for spiritual sensitivity towards human, social, and global civilization that AI demands. His inquiry revolves around how Christian literacy can faithfully contribute to the formation and acquisition of AI literacy. In general, spirituality in Christianity refers to the pursuit of a life following the Holy Spirit. And the life following the Holy Spirit implies a life where all dimensions are harmoniously integrated under the guidance of the divine Spirit. This integration manifests in two major characteristics: integrality and holisticity. Integrality means that the spirit and body are in an inseparable relationship, complementing each other and achieving harmony. Holisticity means that the area of spirituality is not limited to the inner self of the individual, but should expand to human relationships and further relationships with all beings in the world, including living and non-living entities. Ultimately, Christian spirituality can be said to indicate that human life does not remain as a single entity, but maintains its integrity harmoniously while expanding the network of relationships within the universe. And the concept of integrality as a non-dualistic understanding of spirit and matter needs to be reinterpreted in dialogue with academic efforts to modernly reinterpret the concept of spirit and matter. The concept of holisticity as an extension of relationships needs to be reinterpreted in a modern way in relation to the relational understanding of intelligence and mind. In the face of an era demanding AI literacy, Christian literacy education has an obligation to newly define and present spirituality at the level of transdisciplinary studies. Breadth of holisticity. Holisticity, which is a corner of integration for the ripening of human life and points to the expansion of relationships, is meaningfully broadened through the transversal traversing within a biblical statement and the post-human situation. The biblical text to look at for this expansion is Romans 8:22. And also for this expansion, the way to understand the post-human situation is critical post-humanism. These two firm elusive boundaries as they each belong to the categories of theism and materialism, making it challenging to traverse within them. Here, transversal traversing means depicting the dynamism and provisionality of a new boundary formed by the relationship between differences by traversing the differences without paying attention to this boundary. The paragraph we want to pay attention to in Romans 8:22 is the groaning of creation. The interpretation of this can be divided into two: eschatological interpretation and moral interpretation. In eschatological interpretation, the groaning of creation is the collective resistance of all creatures against the malevolent forces suppressing them, and is an outcry of liberation of they participate together in the birth pangs of opening a new world. When following this path of interpretation, all of creation is a community of liberation. Meanwhile, according to moral interpretation, the groaning of creation is due to the pain caused by the detrimental effects of human moral corruption. Human activities in the ancient Mediterranean world, especially imperial activities, that is, wars and economic exploitation to realize imperial ambitions, damaged nature by destroying cities, desolating mountains and fields, and polluting streams, where this led Paul to lament the groaning of creation. By emphasizing that humanity's moral structural evil has caused the suffering of all creation, this interpretation reminds us of humanity's responsibility for creation's groanings. Furthermore, it holds humanity facing today's ecological crisis responsible and demands that Christians do more to fulfill this responsibility. Therefore, these two interpretations of creation's groaning intersect, bringing together the future, that is the prospect of eschatological liberation, and the past, that is the source of moral responsibility, into one place, the present, There's the suffering of creation. Humans can no longer be superior to nature, and as the ones who reign the world, they face creation with the burden of guilt and are given the responsibility to open a future together with creation. In this way, humans are connected to nature, so humans and nature can be understood as one continuum. This is the breadth of holisticity, that is, the connection between humans and nature that can be reached by traversing the boundary of the interpretation of the groaning of creation. Now, let's move across the boundaries of interpretation that have unfolded against the backdrop of biblical statements and move on to critical posthumanism, one of the currents of thought that has settled in the era of artificial intelligence. In one of opinions of critical posthumanism, the world is understood as a nature-culture continuum. However, Donna Haraway's concept of nature-culture continuum does not converge into a singular unity. Instead, it is itself a process and product of traversing nature and culture, and is therefore not something predetermined. It is simply a continuum which evolves through ecology of differentiation. However, since the world is a nature-culture continuum, humans themselves as part of this continuum are also such a continuum. Especially in the present day, technological interventions and machines are also part of the global nature-culture continuum, and are themselves such a continuum. Consequently, one can find a convergence with the assertion of actor network theory, which claims that ultimately humans cannot be separated from non-human entities like machines or other artificial beings. Roger Braidotti goes one step further by defining critical post-human subject as a relational subject constituted in and by multiplicity, that is to say, a subject that works across differences and is also internally differentiated, but still grounded and accountable, including in the scope of its relationship, the non-human or others. In this case, the nature-culture continuum of critical post-humanism meets the interpretation of the Bible that speaks of the connection between humans and nature. At the same time, this continuum moves beyond the reach of biblical statements and their interpretations by sailing toward a broader realm that includes machines and technology. Here, transversal traversing illustrates how the holisticity of spirituality can, within today's ecological context mediated by technology, acquire new points of meaning without being predetermined. We now find ourselves confronted with the amplitude of holisticity that oscillates between the natural and the artificial, moving back and forth between biblical statements and post-human conditions. In other words, the call to think about the nature-culture continuum in terms of strengthening life and to pursue strengthening life in terms of the nature-culture continuum is given as a breadth of spiritual holisticity. Second, depth of integrality. The concept of integrality, which deals with the relationship between spirit and matter, or more precisely spirit and body, can approach a modern understanding through transversal encounters with neuroscientific discussions on the relationship between the brain and spirit. First, let's start by thinking about how closely the brain is related to social life. According to the social intelligence hypothesis regarding the evolution of the brain, one of the crucial factors contributing to the increased brain size in primates is the complexity of social decision-making. The hypothesis suggests that the brain needs to process vast amounts of information rapidly and accurately to handle intricate social interactions. As the importance of social life increases, not only the size of a brain, but also the structure of the brain responsible for social decision-making evolves. And one of the topics that can confirm this fact is the default network. The default network refers to an area of the brain that is busier while the brain is at rest without any specific activity. In this state, the brain overlaps reminiscence of the past and imagination of the future by reflecting on memories related primarily to social ones. Neuroscientist Dale Lee points out that the activity of the default network suggests that social thinking is at the core of human spiritual life. Spiritual life. So how does neuroscience understand the spirit? Philosopher and science journalist Martin Hubert, in exploring the theme of the third view of humanity, reconstructs the neuroscientific understanding of the relationship between the spirit and brain around the concept of interaction. The third view of humanity is grounded in the perspective that spirit arises through the interconnectedness of a brain, body, and environment. In contrast to the traditional view that separates the spirit and matter, where the spirit is seen as forming the essence of humanity, and to the reductionist view, which suggests that the spirit can be understood by reducing it to the neural cells of the brain and considers it merely a phenomenon accompanying matter. The brain cannot function without a body receiving and responding to external stimuli, that is information. Even if there is both the brain and body interconnected, it would also be difficult for the combination of the brain and body to function properly if there is no environment that is the source of information and the object of response. Here, spirit can be said to refer to the interconnection itself of these three. In this sense, it can be considered that spirit and matter are two aspects of the same event. Therefore, the integrality of Christian spirituality, which pursues life in which the spirit and body complement each other and are harmonious in an inseparable relationship, can probably encounter Hubert's third view of humanity in terms of interconnection. However, in that the relationship between spirit and body in neuroscience is three-dimensional rather than two-dimensional. The spirit arises through the interconnection of brain, body, environment. It deviates from the manner of explaining the relationship between spirit and body only in terms of harmony and complementation. From the perspective of neuroscience, humans are bound by a spirit-matter feedback loop. However, this feedback involves not only harmony and complementarity, but also the reinforcement of differences. This is partly due to the fact that the spirit and matter exist on different levels and that the spirit cannot be solely defined by its relationship with the body. Above all, humans are beings characterized by a mixture of coherence and incoherence, harmony and disharmony. Physiological events traverse both difference and similarity. Moreover, the fact that the emergence of the spirit requires not only the brain and body, but also the world beyond the body implies that the understanding of integrality focused solely on the relationship between spirit and body is no longer valid. If integrality requires the world beyond the body, then this integrality can only be integrality in the light of holisticity. Therefore, the integrality, which is traversed transversely by modern neuroscience, traverses holisticity. So, through the traversing between integrality and the neuroscientific view of humanity, encounter the integrality as matter feedback that oscillates between two-dimensional and three-dimensional, traversing coherence and incoherence. And finally, we face spirituality as a transversal traversing of integrality and holisticity. That's your thing.
Thank you very much, Professor Shew. Truly gives us a lot to think about. And now we'd like to have a time of discussion, and to lead this discussion, I would like to invite our member of the chair of the board of APAME to come and lead our discussion. Dr. Pike, thank you very much.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Actually, I'm just here to, lead the discussion. So I want to call the two speakers, front. Come over there, here. And if you have any question, toward the two speakers, you can raise your hand and we can give you the chance, to speak out. Anybody can? So please raise your hand if you have any question to anybody here. Are you on translate? Yeah, sure. So when you answer, you can come over here. So anybody has a question? Yes, please.
Very personal. Really is amazed at the profound words that I hear.
Is there any way the microphone is available for them?
My only question is, what exactly, in a nutshell, is the direction of Christian liberal education in the age of artificial intelligence? In very, very simple language.
I'm going to translate. はい、一言で、この AI の時代の中で、キリスト教のリベラルアーツの方向性を、ぜひ簡単に説明していただきたいです。
Very difficult.
Actually, can you use the microphone?
Yeah, why not? Come over here and then we can speak.
I speak in Korean and he will translate
Yes, please.
properly in English.
Actually, you know what? Let's try something, okay? Something new. I'm going to use the ChatGPT to translate what he's saying in Korean into English, okay? It's a little bit late, but I think it is perfect, much better than me, okay? And so let's try it this way, okay?
これをやっておりますが、通訳、韓国語から英語に通訳するためには、チャット GPT で、通訳させましょう。
I'm going to speak to the ChatGPT now. Please translate from Korean to English, expecting you are the professional translator.
Of course.
매우 어려운 말이
Text you'd like me to translate it into English.
매우 어려운 요청이긴 하지만 노력해 보겠습니다.
That's a very difficult request, but I will try my best.
頑張ります。
Please continue to support.
제가 말하고 싶은
I will
것은
do my best.
한 문장으로 얘기를 한다면 AI 시대는
If I were to say
영성에 대한 요청을 하는데 그 영성은 과거에 우리가 지금까지 이해하고 있던 영성이 아니라 기계와 더불어 사는 시대에 걸맞은 영성으로 재해석될 필요가 있다는 것이고, 그러한 방식에 대해서
You're talking too long.
How can I assist you with this transcription?
Okay? You gotta continue saying.
응. 까먹었어요. I forgot.
Sure, could you please continue or clarify what you need help with regarding the transcription?
어떡하지 이게? 그냥 정말 어렵다.
Actually, he's stopping, by the way, and that is why the ChatGPT is now recognizing, what he's saying. Let me try to translate.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Okay. 인공지능 시대에
In the age of AI,
더욱더 필요해지는 것은 영성이라고 하는 것에는 김인수 박사님이 오전에도 얘기했었던 것처럼 저도 동의를 합니다.
something we
그런데
need, is more concern about the spirituality, as the Dr. Insu Kim said in this morning.
今朝、今朝の、研究発表があったように、この AI、人工知能の時代の中には、より、スピリチュアリティのことに関しては注意すべきです。
하지만 그러기 위해서는 이 시대에 걸맞는 재해석이 영성에도 가해져야 한다는 것이고,
I think, to make it possible, we need to reinterpret and redefine the meaning of spirituality.
ですので、スピリチュアリティ、霊的なことに関しては、改めて考え直して解釈し直す必要があります。
그럴 때 중요한 것은 방법에 있어서는 통합과 단일성을 강조하는 것이 아니라 차이를 그대로 수용하는 방법론을 사용하는 것. 그것이 바로 트랜스버설리 트랜스버싱 하는 것이죠.
As something, he's using, very difficult, word, and that is why, let me translate, in the little easier kind of language.
難しい言葉を使ってますので、簡単に、
What he was trying to say, is, to understand the spirituality for our age, we need to reinterpret and redefine the meaning of spirituality. And to make it possible, we need to confuse, that meaning, within, it seems like the very different opposite, like meaning, but, we need to combine and we need to connect, those things possible.
この AI の時代の中で、それを説明するためには、非常に難しい言葉を使ってたんですけれども、要するにそれを改めて解釈して、改めて理解するためには、反対の方から考える必要があるということです。
그때 반드시 고려해야 될 것을 저는 두 가지 제시했는데, 하나는
I suggest the two things, we need to consider, to make it possible.
2つのことを考える必要があります。
하나는 포스트 휴먼 상황이라고 하는 것이고요.
The situation of the post-human situation.
まずは、ポスト人間の課題があります。
또 하나는 신경과학의 이해입니다. 뇌에 대한.
Another one is the understanding of the neuroscientific, the understanding.
で、次は、脳学の研究からの新たな理解です。
그렇죠?
Thank you.
Thank you for your paper. I have many questions about it. But maybe I can summarize my question. After reading your paper twice, in terms of two things. What exactly is Christian spirituality?
And the next.
What exactly is liberal education?
これは非常に難しいことで、
What is Christian spirituality in liberal education?
考えていきたいと思いますが、まずこの2点定義させていきたいと思います。まず、キリスト教教育は何なのか、そしてリベラルアーツ教育、キリスト教のリベラルアーツ教育は何なのか。 ということを説明しておきたいと思います。
In all the presentations that I've heard and read,
Yeah.
I have not found a description or definition
Oh,
of what AI is. What I have heard is, are the consequences brought about by AI good or bad? But what is it that makes AI AI?
それで人工知能そのものの定義もお願いしたいと思います。
디파인이 안 된다는 대로 얘기가 되고 있는데 그것들에 대해서 디파인이 본인이 생각하는 그 디파인이 어려운 거예요.
일단 제가 이것은 원래 제가 쓴 20페이지의 논문을 줄인 겁니다.
This is the summary of what I wrote for 20-page article into very short article over here.
では以前に20ページほどの原稿論文を集約して説明します。
아마도 그래서 놓친 부분들이 많이 있을 거라고 생각이 됩니다.
I think there are it is summarized version.
今日の話はその長い論文の予約のようなものですのでちょっと分かりにくいと思います。
그러나 한 가지 정의에 대해서 말씀하신다면 제가 사용한 방법론은 통합을 추구하는 것이 아니라 차이를 그대로 드러내는 것이고 비결정적인 것에 대한 방법을 계속 사용하는 것이라서
Okay. So if I kind of make my point, okay, we're not gonna try to kind of combine and make a union together, but we are trying to respect the differences.
2つのことをさせて混乱させるのではなくて、やはりそれを分けて考えたいと思います。
방법론적으로 불확정적인 것을 계속 사용하였습니다.
In terms of methodology, I was trying to, make the uncertainty possible and to make it happen.
그런데 첫 번째 질문은 굉장히 중요하고 적절한 질문이라고 생각합니다.
I think that was very important and a proper question, about the definition, you asked.
その定義に関する質問はごもっとものことで非常に重要な課題です。
기독교 영성과 기독교 교양 교육을 어떻게 연결할 것인가의 문제인 것이죠.
I think the matter is, how we're going to connect the Christian spirituality and the Christian liberal arts education.
ですので、キリスト教のスピリチュアリティとキリスト教のリベラル教育をどう結びつけるかということが非常に重要な課題です。
그건 여기 계신 김학철 박사님이 아주 잘 알고 계시는 용어인데요. 그리고 강조하는 바이고요. 우리 학회가.
Actually, this is, what the Hakchul came over here and also, their project team and are trying to find out, okay, and to make a clear definition. And so it is not an easy question, to answer at this time.
これ難しい質問で、実は研究会を通して、こちらのキムテスなども含めてが、きちんと全体的にそれに答えようとしています。
저희는 기독교 선교에서 대학 기독교 교양 교육 내에서 기독교 선교에서 기독교 문해력으로 중요성의 방점이 옮겨가야 한다고 믿습니다.
We believe the university Christian education need to be transformed from Christian mission or conversion effort into the more like Christian literacy kind of concern. Okay, and so that is the transformation we are trying to make.
キリスト教教育に関しては、人をキリスト教に改心させるような教育を主旨にするものから、よりキリスト教に対する理解を育むような教育へと、しようとしています。それが重要な課題だと思います。
이것이 기독교 교양 교육에서 앞으로 추진해야 될 핵심적인 내용이라고 생각합니다.
We believe, that is the direction we need to take in terms of the Christian liberal arts education.
キリスト教リベラル教育にはそれが重要な方向性だと理解しています。
한국의 현실이기도 하고요.
That is the reality of the Korean university education.
それが今韓国大学の実際の課題です。
I think, Do we have time? Actually, do you have any question to Mr. Hanyu?
Yes.
Actually, this is something that you said something here, the second book, artificial intelligence needs to be accessible to everyone in a fair and transparent manner.
Yes.
Now, would you mind expounding what transparency
Yeah,
is
yes.
in relation to China?
Yes.
発表の中で、AI は、公平的に、またすべての人に、使えるようにしなければならないというふうにおっしゃってたんですけど、それをもっと透明性を持って行うというのは、どのような意味だと思います。特に中国社会の観点から説明していきたいと思います。
Let me repeat the question because all the people who are joining from Zoom and cannot hear and the question. She was asking about the AI transparency in China and what does it mean? So here's gonna answer.
Yes. Okay. So basically, it's not only about China. It would be a world problem that AI possibly would be a most powerful tool that in human history. It could be very powerful that, like what in my paper I said, it could be a powerful tool for revolution because now people are living a life that I had to say someone that they are rich so they can pay for better education and
中国の問題だけではなくて、全世界の課題だと思います。この AI っていうのは、全人民にとって非常に力強い、もっても強い、道具になるかもしれませんので、そうすると、例えばお金持ちなどにとっては、より使えるようになるかもしれません。
Then since the people might have different level of the education and being educated because of the class or the wealth that they have, the AI might be a shortcut or the very efficient tool for the people that to take shortcut to develop themselves and have a better opportunity for their future life.
AI は、社会の、例えば教育差、社会格差の中で、一部の人にとっては、その自分をこれから開発して自分が成長するための、近道になるかもしれません。
That might be a chance that for everyone, anyone, if it's transparent and equally to everyone, that could help everyone to have equal, same level of education, being trained and get knowledge from internet. And it's just a wide database that anyone can gathering all the information to educate themselves and learn any skills that they want.
ですから、すべての人に開かれてて、すべての人に対して公平に使えるのであれば、誰でもそうすると、その同じ、チャンス、可能性が開かれる、ことになる可能性もあると考えられます。
The last thing is, I worry that if the AI is become very powerful, now the AI have different model, different system, different provider. They might charge for different price. That might stop someone. Some people don't have money or access to use this AI tool to change their life. So if it's transparent and equal to everyone, anyone could grab this as an opportunity to change their life.
ただ、有料化することの中で、例えば、より力強いモデルは、より高い価格につけることになると、不公平性が生じる可能性も大いにあり得るというふうにも考えられます。
That's it. Thank you.
There's a question on the screen as well.
Oh,
Yes.
There's the
if you
translator.
can, the chat box,
Yes, please.
read it.
I'm saying that when you say that equal opportunity.
Can somebody turn on the microphone there?
When you say that we can have equal access or opportunity, it means that again, using that will depend on the human intelligence.
Sorry, depend on.
The human intelligence.
Yes. So it would be depend on the provider. Yeah.
Okay. And my next question is that when you told about the deep fake videos or that fall using artificial intelligence, is there any app to counter that also where we can find out?
Is there any, sorry, app?
App
Like
or
protection,
Oh.
app, to find out, this is generated by AI or not.
Oh, yes, of course, the government over the world has been thinking about, like, next year, this year is the election from US. So the government is, forbidden from the AI to join any activity for the election or affect the election. This kind of policies that certainly would be released and protect the market.
先ほどの質問はそのフェイク情報に関して、またフェイクの写真などに関する質問だったんですけれども、確かにそれは今大変な重要な課題であって、それぞれの政府が今そのことに関しては、いろいろと議論してますし、本当は選挙などでは国によってはそれを禁止することもあります。
Just like the time that before we had virus in computer, then after that, many companies released the antivirus application, then people start to use. AI now is in the expansion period that expanding. So in future, there certainly will be the development of protection and the protect application or software to protect this market. And until the market become health, and it will, just like the computer system that we have now.
コンピューターのためには、以前にはウイルスなどが出ましたので、ウイルス対象のソフトが開発されたと同じように、これから AI のためには、そのような保護するソフトがこれから必要になってくるでしょう。
Let me add one thing, about that question. Actually, as long as I remember, August of last year, President Biden, met all the AI developer in USA.
去年、アメリカの大統領バイデン氏はAI 開発者と会議を持つことがありました。
And they agreed to create the frontier AI symposium and to make the ethical discipline, for developing AI.
そしてそのためのシンポジウムを開いて、倫理観のある AI を開発することをその時に、決定することもありました。
One of the principles they agreed is whatever AI produce, and they need to make the AI watermark. Okay?
それで決定して一つのことに関しては、AI が作り上げるコンテンツに関しては、そのウォーターマークをつけることを進めました。要するにそれが AI から出たということが分かるようにした。
It's not gonna kind of watermark like on the photo. There is the electric watermark hidden within the program.
写真のようなウォーターマークではなくて、その中で、秘められているような電子系のものを考えています。
313.
Yeah. I think, yes. I see that there's an online question from Stephen Hendricks, Professor Hendricks. Can you unmute yourself and speak? We should be able to hear you.
Thank you. Is that Professor Shew?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much for allowing me to ask the question. I'd like to know, given that it is said that at present we only use about 7% of our total brain capacity, would AI be able to assist us to increase the capacity of the brain, of our brains that we are using, given the high speed of technology development that AI can assist us with? In other words, can neuroscientists and colleagues in the scientific area assist us to maximize utilization of our brain more than what we can at the moment? Thank you.
人間の脳の能力は部分的にしか使ってないというふうに言われてますので、 これからAI を用いて人間の潜在的な脳の能力をより活性化し、使えるようになるでしょうかという質問です。Can either of you answer this question?
Yes, I'll try. Yes, I'm not the expert of neural or brain scientist. Then, but
脳科学の専門家ではありませんが、
but I believe that we can think the other way. AI is a extension or a replacement of our brain.
しかし別の方向から考えると、AI っていうのは、人間の脳のそのエクステンション、その延長線のようなものになります。
It is not a tool to help us to expand our brain, like to make our brain be more intelligent and more powerful. It is just a tool, extend our brain and make ourselves more efficient.
人間の効率化を上げるものでありますので、その今の人間の知的能力そのものを上げるわけではないと思います。
AI is gathering all the information, data from the whole world, internet world. So I'd say it would be more powerful than our brain. And it's not about whether we are using 7% or 100%. It is certainly exceed the power of capacity of our brain.
人間の脳の何%を使っているかっていう問題ではなく、AI システムは人間の脳のカパシティを超えるものっていうことだと思います。
Yes, that's my answer. Thank you.
これが私の答えだと思います。
I just want to explain the person who were asking that question was from the South Africa.
Yeah, and he's a doctor.
Yeah,
Dr.
Stephen Hendricks from South Africa.
先ほど質問、聞いてくださった方は南アフリカのお医者さんです。はい。I believe that we are out of time for this session. So I'd like to thank our two speakers. Thank you very much. ここでwe're going to take a break now for about 20 minutes. It is currently about 3:20, and I would like to take a break now for about 20 minutes. We will reconvene here at 3:40. We'll reconvene at 3:40 to continue the next section. Our next speaker will be John Davis from Kingswood College in London. So in the other room, there's coffee prepared. So let us take about a 20-minute break. Thank you. Okay. 今スクリーン共有してるわけではない。そうですね、特にないです。こちらを閉じていいですので、あとこの後、そういうスクリーン共有がないので、もう少しシンプルになるかなと。
わかりました。共同ホスト、あれでしたっけど、デビス先生に。
見えてない。
多分、あれ、ジョン・デビス。
いた。
名前を多分変えられてると思う。それで。
Make co-host
ですね。はい、これで多分大丈夫。
Yeah. Hey, John, can you please test by speaking in the mic to say hi?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. That's great.
Excellent.
So I've made you co-host. You should be able to share your screen now with no problem.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, and you're displayed on the main screen, and we can hear you fine.
Terrific. Excellent. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. This will stay on and running, but I'll be back and we'll look forward to your presentation in about 20 minutes from now.
Lovely. Thank you. Speak to you
Thank
soon.
you so much. All right.
Okay.
たら、先生、デビス先生の方にピン止めするようにします。
はい、お願いします。そうですね。
はい。
스파이스 박사의 생각을 확장하겠죠. 너무 세렸던 것 같아요. 하나 반드시 해야 되는 건 뭐라고 알겠습니다. 예를 들어서 이거와 대한 데피니션도 방법은 그러니까 이제 만약에 진짜로 내가 중학교에서 좀 이상을 피하는 좀 월드와이드한 그런 인터내셔널 어프로치가 필요한 것 같아요.
맨날 교양이요. 아, 네, 한국 교양이 앞에서 다른 동아시아 뭐
그런 데를 해보고 나서 그다음에 이제 안돼 교양에서 교양과 대해서 어떻게
내가 연구가 그거 해야 되는 거야.
아, 그래서 대표에서 하고 할 거냐 또 스페셜로 왔어요. 그래서 그다음에 인간하게
하는 거야.
나랑 말을 안 하니까 인터넷으로 세팅으로 그러려면 진짜 천문학 겹겠죠.
매번 있어요. 매달 없어 싫어.
그거 다 수하면 안 되니까. 그걸 하나에
아, 그래서 돈 박사님. 아, 때문에 이거 얼마 물론 이제 인건비가 많이 나가는 거지.
미국에서도 요즘에 굉장히 이슈인데 정리가 안 됐으니까 오히려 미국에서도 좀 다르니까 이게 북한 배우라 근데 북한 배우라 이렇게 좀 진짜 꽂힐 수 있어.
좋은 얘기인데 예를 들어 그걸 배우면 줘야 되는데
필리핀들 만들자는 교양들을 이거를 체계화시키는 게 아무도 없기 때문에 이걸 그렇게 하면서 이걸 포스를 하는 것도 중요해요. 딱 여러 가지 꽂아야 그러면 너무 좋네. 법적으로 또 내년 연사니까 20년으로 딱 보험을 해서 언제나 들으세요. 굳이 나의 거.
그러면 그런데 내년까지가 많아가지고 얼마 안 제가
교수님이 책에서 한 유재원이 짜서 열심히 할 수 있는데 그거는 해가지고 본처럼 수정하는 것보다 책을 쓰는 게 왜냐면 책을 쓰지만 그렇게 그걸 사이즈를 갖기 위해서는 근데 다른 그러면 그래서 이할 때도 감신자도 이런 제가 감신인데 제가 중작부고요. 진짜로 그래서 분명하게 탁구대학 나가래가지고 제가 이틀 봤거든요. 뭐라고 하는지 너 우리가 그냥 걸 알아? 그러니까 제가
한강에 다니시던 목사님이라고 하신 것 같은데 저희 과에서 했는데 어쨌든 저는 일까지 있는 제가 나왔어요.
너무 많이 뺐다. 해달라고. 일본의
We still have a few minutes, John. So I'll do your introduction, and then you'll have about 20 or 25 minutes to present.
Yeah, that's no problem. Mine will be very practical rather than theoretical, so I hope that's okay.
That's good. I will be presenting after you, and I think that we shared the text a couple times in the chat, so I think you may have been able to download the program and the text. But my presentation is also a little bit more down to earth, shall we say, or practical for educators and institutions. Not quite so theoretical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And then just for the introduction, just a reminder, sorry, you said I was Kingswood College, London. It's Kingswood School, Bath.
Absolutely, yes. I don't know how I missaid that.
Don't worry. There is a Kingswood College, but I think it's in South Africa.
I certainly know Kingswood School, Bath.
Yeah.
I don't know what came out of my mouth.
Don't worry. It's not, I'm not, it doesn't bother me. I just thought I'd clarify before you introduce me again.
Thank you. I'll be more careful next time.
Good.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Hang in there, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yeah, no rush.
All right. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. This is a place now. Oh, wow, it's beautiful. さすがにこれをお願いしないとパックします。ありがとうございます。 I think we're ready to start the second half. Welcome back. I'd like to welcome back after a little break for the second half for both our online participants as well as for those who are here in the room. Hold on just a second. Let me get my. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. And it is my pleasure for the first presentation for the second half to welcome John Davis, who is Senior Deputy Head and Vice President of Kingswood School in Bath. And in April, there was a great celebration of IAMSCU conference held in Bath. We also observed the 275th anniversary of the founding of Kingswood School there. So many members who are here today actually were at Kingswood School in April. And John, it is a pleasure to welcome you here today for this symposium. And he's going to be focusing a little bit more practical with his experience working in the secondary education. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a real privilege to join you. I can't see the people in the room, but greetings to everyone from the UK. I can wave at everyone. Hello there. Nice to see you. Very happy to join you. It's a real privilege to be here. It's just after 6:30 in the morning at Kingswood, and so it was good to wake up early this morning to join you. I'd like to share a few slides if that's okay. So if you just give me a moment, I'm going to share my screen and hopefully this will work successfully. Now, is that working? I can't hear whether that's working or not. If someone could give me a thumbs up on the camera, that would be great. Excellent. Okay. Fabulous. You may have lost the view of me. So let me just do that and then I'll get started and make sure that you can see me. Okay, I think I'll carry on. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here. So yeah, delighted to be joining you. As was just mentioned, I'm currently a vice principal at Kingswood School in Bath, which is a school founded by John Wesley in 1748. So we've just celebrated our 275th anniversary. So it's interesting to be from such an ancient institution and to be talking about such a modern topic. But I'm going to try and dovetail ancient and modern today in a few things that I say. And really, I'm not an AI expert. I should probably put that disclaimer up front. I'm not a professor or PhD in anything to do with AI. I'm not a computer scientist. I'm an educator. I spend my time with teenagers or young people. Really, my presentation is just a few thoughts, some early thoughts about how we at Kingswood are already starting to grapple with AI. And this may be familiar to many of you. It's an image that I've used a lot with our teachers and really has helped inform our strategy at the school when we think about AI. So the Gartner hype cycle talks about the idea that when a new technology is born, what tends to happen is that there is a peak of inflated expectation that people expect a new technology to revolutionize everything and change everything. And to an extent, that's true. So if we think about the internet, when it was first born, there was a peak of inflated expectation. But then there comes a point in technology innovation where actually you reach a peak and people expect everything to change, and then they suddenly find that not everything changed the way that they thought. Things do change, but not quite as much as people had hoped. So at the moment, obviously, there's lots of talk about the exponential potential of AI, and that AI will solve the climate crisis and will cure cancer and will do all of these wonderful things. And that's very, very exciting. But there is a danger, there is a possibility that when AI, or if AI doesn't fulfill all of our dreams, that we then crash back down again and we find ourselves in what's called the trough of disillusionment, which is one of my favorite phrases about technology, the trough of disillusionment. People become unhappy because the technology hasn't met their dreams and hopes. And so they become a little bit disenchanted with the technology. And then what tends to happen is we climb back up again through this slope of enlightenment as people readjust their expectations. And then eventually we plateau and we find a new productive norm with the new technology. So I'm very interested in this idea. And I think at the moment, I don't know how high this peak will go, but I think we are climbing this peak of inflated expectation. And that's certainly what I see in education. There is lots of commentary about how AI will change everything, and that we won't need schools anymore and we won't need teachers anymore. And whilst I believe that AI will have a significant impact on education, I don't believe that it will change absolutely everything, although I'm sure that the impact will be significant. And essentially our strategy at Kingswood School, which is a common sense strategy, is not to be too eager to climb this peak of inflated expectation, but actually to try and level off our expectations. And if we can begin to experiment with AI in a semi-cautious way, and allow this peak to rise and fall, and then essentially try and draw a more sensible curve in terms of Kingswood's interaction with AI, so that by the time that in the sector the plateau of productivity is established, we haven't wasted time and resource chasing these peaks and troughs. So that's essentially our strategy, is to be cautiously engaged, curious, but not to chase the highs and lows of the hype cycle. So in terms of the education that I'm trying to lead at Kingswood Foundation, we've identified a few areas where we think AI now can have a meaningful effect for teachers. We're focusing in the first instance on teachers because we're still not satisfied that the safety and security and the moral ambiguity of encouraging young people to engage with AI. We're very aware that young people will be engaging with AI without us, but we want to be sure that when we encourage them to use AI in classrooms, say, that we're giving them a curated experience that's also safe. So at the moment, we're encouraging our teachers to engage with this technology, of course. And here are a few things that we're looking at as a foundation. Number one is probably the easiest win. My experience tells me that most teachers have one thing in common, which is that they're incredibly busy, and they often feel frustrated that they don't have enough time to engage with the pupils or to even have a good work-life balance, because there's so much for them to do outside teaching. So one of the things I'm really interested in is the extent to which AI can automate administrative tasks for teachers and speed up aspects of their workload. The argument being that if teachers spend less time and energy on paperwork, they will have more time and energy for children, for relationships, for engagement with young people. And that's fundamentally what teachers are for and what they're great at. So we've been exploring a variety of different ways that teachers can use AI tools to improve or speed up their lesson plans, to create their slide decks. So some of you will have noticed that this particular presentation that I'm showing you today I've used an AI-powered presentation tool to create this. It saved me time. I'm really interested in the extent to which AI can create stimulus texts to help pupils read and understand new ideas. It's very, very good at creating quizzes for assessment and questions It's very, very good at creating what we call cover work, which is if there's an absent teacher and we need to give the class some work to make sure their learning doesn't suffer, AI is incredibly good as a tool to create meaningful work for students. I've used it a lot. I think it's very good for creating model answers to questions. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And it can be used creatively as well, both in terms of images, but also in terms of ideas. It can provide a lot of creative stimulus, I think, for teachers in their lesson planning. The second way that we're thinking about using AI is to use it to improve or speed up the feedback cycle following assessment. So AI is very, very good at providing almost immediate feedback on student work, which of course will then create more time for teachers to actually focus on their response to assessment. We know in education that response to assessment is one of the most powerful drivers of progress. So if we can automate, improve the feedback and response cycle, then we could benefit students learning really quite quickly. I'll comment in a moment about some of the limitations there. And then finally, this third area, which is probably third on our list, we're dipping our toes in the water. We know that AI bots or AI engines have the potential to act as personal tutors to students to support them in their learning, that they can offer advice and explain ideas, particularly when students are doing independent work. There are still some barriers here to do with paywalls. Lots of the tools out there have a financial cost, and also age restrictions. Lots of the tools out there aren't available for children under the age of 13. We have invested in some platforms that have built-in feedback tools that are powered by kind of simple versions of large language models. I suspect that's going to become much more sophisticated as we move forward in education. So they're the three areas that we're thinking about as teachers at Kingswood. I just want to make a brief comment about AI assessment. I'm an English teacher, so I teach literature, I teach Shakespeare and poetry, and I spent quite a lot of time trying to see how much AI could help me as an English teacher assess students' writing. My conclusion at the moment is that AI is best suited as an assessment tool when the nature of the task is fairly concrete. So I think it's very, very useful if you teach a subject like a science, where there are often, certainly at secondary level, binary answers to questions. I've found that AI struggles a little bit to provide nuanced feedback to, say, an essay about poetry. It can provide some structural feedback about whether the essay is well constructed, but it's relatively surface level. And my conclusion has been that at the moment, AI struggles a little bit to give nuanced feedback on a student's extended writing, particularly in the arts. And I think that makes sense to me because an essay, say, about Shakespeare is a human interaction between people. A human being reads a text which is spiritual, emotive in some way, has a critical response to that text, and then seeks to express their beliefs through writing. And I think that's a very nuanced human process. And then a teacher interprets that person's interpretation, and then there's a conversation between teacher and student. And I think at the moment, AI is struggling to replicate the very human interaction when it comes to feedback on essays. And I think that's because it's a fundamentally human conversation that's taking place, and there aren't sufficient empathetic parameters that we can give AI at the moment to help it give nuanced feedback on somebody's essay. So I'm interested in that space and whether that improves with time. But at the moment, I would say that there are limits to what AI can do when it comes to feedback on extended writing. Here are some specific strategies that our teachers are trialing at the moment as a professional group. As I mentioned before, we've found AI tools are excellent at creating multiple choice quizzes. That's what that acronym stands for, multiple choice quiz, which are proven to be really helpful assessment tools. So lots of our teachers are using AI to generate quizzes and fast assessments that can test understanding. And actually the multiple choice quiz generation is quite good in terms of the way that AI can create multiple plausible answers to a question. I don't think it still is nuanced as being able to tease out the key learning points, but it can create very good multiple choice quizzes, which I think have got an excellent learning potential. This is one of my favorite uses of AI at the moment, what I like to call spoof assessment. I quite like this as a preemptive strike when you're trying to discourage plagiarism in students. So at the moment, when I'm setting a class up in preparation to write an essay, I have an AI tool write an essay for the class first, and then I give them a copy of the AI generated essay, and I tell them that it's AI generated, and then we critique it as a class, and we seek to draw out what about the AI essay is generic, what about it lacks flair, what about it lacks human intuition. And that's a very, very interesting conversation to have with teenagers, because you start to get them to reflect on what is it about human imagination that makes an essay brilliant. I also did some creative writing with students recently, and I did the same thing. I had AI create some short stories. It generated 3 or 4 different styles, and we critiqued them as a class. And they quickly realized that the AI short story was cliche. It lacked something special. It lacked a kind of a human spark or creativity. Essentially, it followed the rules. And because it followed the rules, the writing lacked heart. And that was a very, very interesting discussion to have with the children. And then they went on to create their own creative pieces, which were much more human in nature. So that's one of my favorite uses of AI now, using it to explore what we actually mean by human creativity. Number 3, I really like this as well. I particularly am keen on students reading high-level writing, learning about difficult ideas through text. And I think AI can create very good stimulus texts. I'm teaching a Shakespeare play at the moment, Midsummer Night's Dream. The students are preparing for a piece of coursework about the representation of women. And I had AI generate a textbook style entry about that topic. And I was able to customize and tweak it. And so essentially you have a textbook on tap that you can customize, which I really, really like. And then finally, one of the most fun and creative uses I've seen of AI in the classroom so far is you can ask a chatbot to be a particular fictional or historical character. So taking my example about Midsummer Night's Dream, I've asked the AI to adopt the persona of Shakespeare and to have the knowledge that Shakespeare would have. And then I've spent some time in class with students where they have asked Shakespeare questions. Why did you write Midsummer Night's Dream? Why did you choose Theseus as the character at the beginning of the play? And Shakespeare, the AI bot, was able to give some fairly plausible answers, which I thought was quite fun and clever too. It's just a more interactive way of doing research. These are a few tools that we have found useful at school so far. Of course, I haven't put ChatGPT on here. I'm taking it as read that ChatGPT or any of the large language models are useful, Claude, etc. And I know our teachers, including me, have spent a lot of time using ChatGPT. There are a few tools that we found quite useful so far. There is a education-specific tool called Magic School AI, which is a very, very good gateway for teachers who are nervous about using this technology. Because essentially what the company has done is they've taken a large language model, but they've built a wrapper around it, and they've structured it into tools. They're essentially pre-designed prompts, and they've anticipated what teachers are likely to want. And you can go in and use it, and essentially it scaffolds and navigates them in their first steps using a large language model. And so teachers who are a bit scared of this technology don't have to worry about prompt engineering. So I found that a very, very nice way in for both primary and secondary school teachers. I really love the tool that's called Audio Pen, which is a very, very powerful tool that will convert speech to text. And that's very good for capturing key moments in lessons where you're explaining concepts, maybe for students who are not there. It will create good summaries of what you've said. It's also very good for capturing notes from meetings. Gamma is an example of an AI-powered presentation tool. The tool that I'm using right now is Gamma. Again, if you combine that with ChatGPT, so one of my favorite usages is to ask something like ChatGPT to suggest a structure for a lesson or a presentation slide deck. And then you can copy and paste that structure into Gamma, which will then auto-generate slides along that theme. So you can actually create, I would say, an 80% finished presentation in 2 minutes. And that, for a teacher, can save them hours of their time. There are, of course, concerns, and I know listening into some of the keynotes already today, there are, of course, philosophical, ethical, moral concerns. And so we have to be a little bit cautious about this. One of the things we've done at Kingswood is we've gathered together a group of students with some computer science teachers and with a philosophy teacher, and they've worked together to create a student guide to appropriate usage of AI in school. And I think that's quite a powerful exercise. So students are engaging with the moral dilemmas and the ethical dilemmas that come with the technology. We do, of course, have concerns about privacy. We have concerns about children sharing personal information and that being used as part of the large language model. What's emerging now in the market more and more, we've found, are child-safe products. So there are now some interesting products that are being offered to schools which offer so-called safe versions of chatbots which children can use. So I think that's an interesting space. And whilst obviously international and national legislation is working hard to keep up with the technology, I'm relatively encouraged that the education technology sphere will seek to solve this problem itself by creating AI playgrounds that are walled as a way of safeguarding children. So that's the kind of thing that we're going to be looking to invest in once that technology settles down. Obviously, teacher training is vital. Teachers really need to understand this technology. They need to understand the implications of it. They need to help guide young people in how to use this technology wisely, and they can't do that if they don't understand it themselves. So there's a big piece of work happening at the moment, which is raising up the AI literacy of our teachers, and that's very much my job at Kingswood. And then finally, I imagine this will be a concern, particularly for many involved in university teaching, that one of the dangers of AI is that it can potentially steal the struggle from the learning process. It's brilliant and it's efficient and it can make us faster and smarter if used wisely. But there is also a flip side to that coin, which is if it steals the struggle from the learning process, if it provides too many shortcuts for young people, they won't learn. They won't learn as much. And so for us, we are considering very carefully what that means for task design. How can we create tasks that are sufficiently nuanced so that AI can't steal the struggle from the children? We think it has some implications for curriculum. So we're thinking about where we put our focus now in terms of how we assign our time. One of our conclusions is that creative pursuits at school are more important than ever. In the UK, there's been a leaning towards maths and science as the most important subjects for a long time. And the idea that in a modern world, you have to be very technical if you want to be very employable. What I'm very interested in with AI is actually the tables are starting to turn. And it looks to me that now and in the future, the most important skills in the modern workforce are actually going to be human creative skills, because the AI is going to start doing a lot of the technological burden for us. So any focus now on the arts, on drama, on music, these creative pursuits, on poetry, these are uniquely human traits, and they therefore are going to be the most important traits in a future workforce powered by AI. So we are essentially doubling down at Kingswood on the importance of the arts and the creative pursuits in the curriculum. Literacy is something, and by literacy, I don't mean AI literacy, I just mean literacy, reading and writing. Given that we are teaching computers to use our language, it stands to reason that being able to express oneself fluently, to ask clearly what it is that you'd like the AI to think about, to have a good conversation with an AI bot, that becomes the most important skill. And so literacy, reading, writing, and speaking are more important than ever. And the more literate you are, the more you can leverage the power of AI. Given AI's, if you like, at the moment, lack of empathy, and there's a whole different debate about whether empathy can be emulated by an AI, but let's assume for a moment that it can't, and that it's a uniquely human trait. Human relationships and empathy are more important than ever in a world that's AI infused. And so that speaks very much to our vision as a Methodist school, that more important than ever is the power of human relationships and empathy. And then finally, as mentioned earlier, it's important that we create a safe space at the moment for people to play with this technology. And I mean teachers and also students. And at the moment, I think we're in a play stage, in an experimentation stage, while the technology rises and falls and settles. And that's the best way to navigate that hype cycle that I talked about earlier. And then just a final thought, we are, of course, Wesley's school, founded by John Wesley originally, and he founded us on many principles, but I'm sure many of you will be familiar with the very famous Wesley quote of doing all the good you can in all the ways you can. And so I guess for Wesley's school, our challenge is to ask this question: what does it mean to do all the AI good that you can? And so our charge to our teachers, but also to our students who are going to go into this world as young adults, is how do you leverage AI to make a meaningful difference in the world, to narrow rather than widen poverty gaps, to save the environmental crisis, to make a difference in the lives and happiness of human beings. And so that's a very, very interesting moral call for us to think very carefully about how AI interacts with our Methodist ideology and our mission to send people out into the world who believe in social justice, who are intelligent and wise and kind, and therefore will hopefully leverage this technology to make the most positive difference in the world. So there's a very quick whistle-stop tour through where I am and where we are at Kingswood in terms of this technology. And I'd be delighted to answer any questions anyone has about anything that I've said. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, John. You couldn't hear, but there was a round of applause happening here. Now that I've turned the microphone on, let's give another round of applause to John. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I think actually it's worked out very well, the order that we have done these presentations, because they have worked well together as a pair. And I'm presenting next on AI in the future of Christian education, balancing innovation with human-centered pedagogy. I started working in IT in the late 80s. Late 80s into the 90s, I was working in the IT industry programming. So before I was a theologian, I was a programmer. And then in the early 2000s, I worked programming on some of the earliest e-learning systems. As soon as I started teaching at the university level over 20 years ago, I was developing these systems for my own teaching. And then later I became an administrator of e-learning systems and then began publishing and writing about integrating technology and innovation in Christian education. So it was a natural step for me to segue into artificial intelligence and Christian education in about 2018. And IAMSCU established a research institute for that. I had a chance to present at the Global Education Conference in Manila in about 2018, and then we held 2 symposiums here on this topic. So this is the 3rd symposium on this theme. Of course, in the last year, with the release of ChatGPT and the rise of generative AI, it has really caught on, and it's actually become a useful tool for many educators. So for today's presentation, I decided to review some of the presentations and lectures that I've made over the past year and to touch on some of the highlights, kind of my reflections overall. The advent of artificial intelligence is a pivotal milestone for humanity in general and for education specifically. It heralds new possibilities and challenges for educators, students, and institutions alike. This lecture examines the relationship between emerging AI technologies and the field of education, particularly within the context of Christian educational institutions. This talk advocates for a future where AI is not merely a convenient supplement to education, but a transformative force that enriches the learning experience while upholding the core values and human qualities that are central to Christian education. Before looking forward, let us first look back. Technological innovation is not new to education. The landscape of education has been continually shaped and reshaped by various waves of technological innovation. Each wave, while distinct in its character and impact, shares a common narrative of initial excitement followed by a more tempered and realistic integration into educational practices. This is precisely what John was just talking about. This pattern of enthusiastic adoption followed by a critical assessment is evident in the history of educational technology, from the advent of print media to the proliferation of digital technologies. The first significant wave can be traced back to the 15th century with the introduction of the printing press. This innovation marked a paradigm shift from oral and manuscript-driven learning to accessible printed materials, democratizing knowledge and standardizing educational content across diverse geographies. However, the impact was gradual and intertwined with broader societal changes, highlighting the complex relationship between technology, culture, and education. In the mid-20th century, audiovisual technologies, including radio, film, and television, emerged as new mediums for educational content delivery. These technologies expanded the horizons of traditional classroom-based education, introducing dynamic and multimodal learning experiences. Yet, their integration also necessitated a re-evaluation of pedagogical strategies to effectively harness their potential. The late 20th century witnessed the personal computer revolution, altering the educational landscape with interactive and individualized learning tools. This era introduced the concept of educational software, which promised to revolutionize learning processes through interactivity and engagement. Perhaps some of you can remember that period and the false promises that we heard. However, the efficacy of these tools depended heavily on their integration into well-structured pedagogy. The proliferation of the internet and the advent of online learning platforms further transformed education, offering global access to a wealth of information and learning resources. The rise of massive open online courses, MOOCs, in the early 2010s exemplifies this trend. Initially heralded as a transformative force that would change higher education, MOOCs fell far short of their promise. The initial enthusiasm surrounding MOOCs, even predicting the end of traditional higher education, was a product of hype rather than a grounded assessment of their impact. This serves as a reminder that the potential of new technologies in education must be critically evaluated. Entering the 21st century, interactive and adaptive learning technologies, learning advancements in AI and machine learning have promised new personalized and efficient learning experiences. However, as with previous innovations, their successful integration requires careful consideration of existing educational structures and pedagogies. As we embark on the latest wave characterized by generative AI and advanced ed tech, it's crucial to reflect on these historical patterns. While technology has consistently influenced education, I would say positively, the core challenges and issues in education remain largely consistent. Understanding the impact of past technological integration in education allows us to approach generative AI with a critical eye, aiming to utilize it wisely and productively. The goal is not to be swayed by unfounded optimism, but to leverage AI's capacities in a manner that genuinely enhances education, practices, and outcomes. The advent of generative AI presents a unique juncture for education at which long-standing pedagogical methodologies, namely instructivist and constructivist approaches, might converge. Instructivist methodologies are primarily characterized by direct teaching and the delivery of information, content by educators. This is the more traditional teaching style. In contrast, constructionist approaches emphasize student-driven learning through exploration, creation, and problem solving. Generative AI, with its advanced capacities, holds the potential to bridge these paradigms, offering a symbiotic blend of guided learning and exploratory education. Generative AI could potentially harmonize the approaches by providing personalized learning experiences that adapt to individual student needs while also encouraging creative problem solving and critical thinking. For instance, AI-driven platforms can deliver customized instructional content that aligns with each student's learning pace and style, thereby upholding the instructionalist models focused on efficiency and effectiveness. Concurrently, these platforms can stimulate constructionist learning by posing challenges, facilitating project-based learning, and encouraging exploration while maintaining a student-centric learning environment. And it sounds like at Kingswood School, they are effectively utilizing AI specifically for that kind of an educational experience. However, this integration is not without its concerns. There is a growing apprehension regarding generative AI's potential to disrupt traditional educational paradigms, particularly its impact on the role of educators and the nature of student engagement. One of the concerns is the risk of AI replacing the human element in education. The human interactions, personalized feedback, and emotional support that educators provide are integral to the learning process, aspects that AI is currently ill-equipped to replicate. Even more concerning, the reliance on AI-driven educational tools may inadvertently lead to a reduction in critical cognitive skills among students, the reduction in the development of those skills. While AI can effectively handle tasks like information processing, problem solving, and even content creation, there is a serious risk that over-reliance on these tools could diminish students' abilities to develop these essential skills independently. This concern underscores the need for a balanced approach where AI is used as a tool to enhance rather than replace traditional learning processes. The students still need to struggle and to engage with the material. In contemplating the future of education with generative AI, it is imperative to tread a path that respects and integrates the strengths of both instructionalist and constructionalist methodologies. The focus should be on leveraging AI to complement and augment the educational process, ensuring that the technology serves pedagogical goals rather than dictating them. As we envision a future where AI is woven into the fabric of education, it is crucial to maintain a critical perspective, ensuring that these advanced technologies are employed in ways that truly enrich learning experiences while preserving the fundamental elements that constitute effective education. Integrating AI into existing educational systems. The integration of AI into existing educational systems necessitates a comprehensive understanding that goes beyond the issues involved in the technical adoption of this advanced technology. It calls for an in-depth appreciation of the multifaceted social technical systems that form the backbone of educational environments. A systematic approach is crucial, one that aligns technological advancements with the overarching pedagogical goals and actively involves the entire educational community: learners, educators, administrative staff, support services, and parents. This integration process acknowledges that while a minority of students may thrive in a self-directed learning environment, the majority of learners benefit significantly from the support and engagement of a broader learning community. This, I should add, is why MOOCs failed. MOOCs could not develop that learning community that the students needed. The role of AI, therefore, should be envisioned not as a standalone solution, but as a component of a holistic education strategy. This strategy must encompass the diverse needs and contributions of all the stakeholders in the educational process. Community involvement is key in this paradigm. Learners, as the primary beneficiaries of AI integration, should have a say in how these technologies meet their learning needs and preferences. We need to ask students always and get feedback from students. Educators must be equipped not only with the technical know-how to use AI tools, but also with the skills to critically assess their application in learning and teaching. Administrative and support services play a pivotal role in ensuring the seamless implementation and sustainable use of AI technologies. Otherwise, you'll just have a few technology proficient professors using it and no one else can. Additionally, at primary and secondary levels, parents must be engaged as partners in understanding and supporting the use of AI in their children's education. AI cannot be a replacement for the essential role of educators, parents, and the learning community. A focal point in integrating AI into education is its influence on cognitive development. An essential consideration is the distinction between enhancing cognitive tasks and replacing them. AI has the potential to augment human cognition, aiding in complex problem-solving, data analysis, and personalized learning experiences. However, an over-reliance on AI for tasks that are critical to cognitive development could lead to a decline in crucial skills such as critical thinking, creativity, writing, and problem solving. Therefore, the integration of AI in education should be carefully calibrated to ensure that these technologies supplement rather than replace the cognitive activities that foster uniquely human skills. The objective should be to use AI as a tool to enhance the educational experience, nurturing skills that are less susceptible to technological replication, such as emotional intelligence, ethical reasoning, and interpersonal communication. This balanced approach will ensure that AI serves as a catalyst for enriched learning experiences, supporting the development of well-rounded individuals equipped to navigate an increasingly complex and technology-driven world. As educational systems stand on the brink of significant transformations driven by AI, preparing both educators and students for these impending changes is imperative. This preparation involves not only imparting the technological skills necessary to operate AI-driven tools, but also fostering an understanding of the broader implications of AI in the educational landscape. For educators, the advent of AI in education necessitates a dual approach. First, faculty and professional development programs must be designed to enhance their technical proficiency with AI tools. This training goes beyond basic operational knowledge, extending to an understanding of how to integrate these tools effectively into their courses, into the curriculum. Second, educators must be equipped to critically evaluate the impact of AI on pedagogical approaches. This involves an understanding of how AI can be used to complement their teaching methods, how it might influence student learning outcomes, and how to maintain a balance between technology-driven and traditional education approaches. AI should not be seen as a threat that will replace them or traditional teaching approaches. I don't think it will. I don't think it should. But as an additional tool to their toolkits to enhance the teaching and learning experiences. Moreover, educators must be prepared to address the ethical considerations surrounding AI in education. This includes understanding data privacy concerns, biases in AI algorithms, and ensuring equitable access to AI-driven learning tools. They should be sensitive to the importance of fostering a classroom environment that values human judgment and interpersonal skills alongside AI-enhanced learning. For students, AI-driven changes in education imply adapting to new ways of learning that blend traditional methods with advanced technological interventions. Students need to be trained not just in using AI tools, but also in understanding their role as a part of the learning process. This includes developing a critical awareness of the strengths and limitations of AI and learning how to leverage those tools to enhance their educational experiences. This will require engaging students with a deeper understanding about how to learn and how to advance their own intellectual development. AI tools give the learners tremendous power to develop themselves, but at the same time, they provide the tools to, unfortunately, finish assignments without learning anything at all. With more responsibility for learning squarely in the hands of students, integrating AI literacy into the curriculum is essential. This involves not only teaching students how to use AI tools, but also educating them about the broader societal and ethical implications of AI. By doing so, students can become informed users of technology who understand both its potential and its limitations. Furthermore, as AI reshapes the job market, students need to be prepared with skills that are complementary to AI capabilities. Emphasis should be placed on developing soft skills. I'm so glad that John Davis also touched on this, such as creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional intelligence. Skills that are uniquely human and less likely to be replaced by AI. Educational systems should aim to foster these skills to prepare students for a future where AI is an integral part of the workforce. Preparing both educators and students for AI-driven changes is a multifaceted process. It involves equipping them with the necessary technical skills, fostering a critical understanding of AI's role in education, and ensuring that the human element in learning remains central. This preparation is crucial for navigating the challenges and opportunities presented by AI in education, ensuring that both educators and students are ready to thrive in an AI-enhanced learning environment. AI for Christian education. The integration of artificial intelligence in Christian education, particularly within the Methodist tradition, necessitates a re-examination of educational paradigms in the context of faith and value-based education. The Methodist educational ethos has historically emphasized holistic development, focusing on character building, social contribution, critical thinking, and ethics education. In the age of AI, this type of education gains heightened importance, demanding a thoughtful synthesis of technological advancements with the foundation principles of Christian education. In Methodist-related educational institutions, the integration of both instructionalist and constructionalist approaches has been pivotal in nurturing holistic development. This balanced approach aligns seamlessly with the Christian emphasis on developing individuals to their full God-given potential. In the era of AI, the focus on holistic education becomes even more crucial. Knowledge acquisition, while important, is insufficient on its own. Facts and information are already available through the internet and will be even easier to obtain with the help of AI. The future world will increasingly require individuals who possess not just information, but deep understanding. Understanding and information are not the same. This is key. So the future requires deep understanding, empathy, robust critical thinking skills, and sound ethical discernment. These attributes are inherently human and not easily replicated by AI. Christian education in the age of AI should therefore accentuate these qualities, ensuring that students are equipped not just with knowledge, but with the wisdom to use that knowledge responsibly. The advent of AI brings forth profound theological questions concerning the essence of being human. What does it mean to be human on a planet where we are not the most intelligent beings? That, I think, is a profound theological question that we need to consider. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 asserts that humans are created in the image of God. This passage takes on increasing significance in an age of AI. At the very least, being made in the image of God means that we are uniquely bestowed with intellectual, ethical, and emotional capacity. This enables us to understand ourselves and others, as well as the universe itself. It enables us to discern good from evil and to make ethical decisions rather than living by instinct like animals. The emotional capacity enables us to love and to be loved by God and each other. This should inform our understanding of what it means to be human and the kind of education we need to fully realize our humanity. This understanding prompts a deep exploration of how education can nurture these aspects, which are crucial for holistic human development. The rise of AI can serve as a catalyst for Christian education to focus more intently on nurturing aspects of humanity that are distinctly human and not replicable by machines. This includes fostering a deep understanding of the self and others, developing the ability to discern right from wrong, and cultivating the capacity to love and to be loved by God and fellow humans. As AI becomes more prevalent, Christian education has the opportunity to lead conversations on the intersection of technology, ethics, and spirituality. By focusing on the development of qualities that are uniquely human, Christian education can prepare individuals to engage with AI in a way that is grounded in faith and guided by ethical principles. The integration of AI in Christian education, particularly within Methodist tradition, should not only focus on technological proficiency, but also on nurturing the full spectrum of human potential as envisioned in Christian teachings. This approach ensures that we step into an increasingly AI-driven world. The core values of empathy, ethical discernment, and spiritual development. We ensure that these remain at the forefront of our approach to education. And finally, the future vision. In envisioning the future of education, in an AI-driven world, it is imperative to embrace a forward-thinking and innovative approach that integrates AI not as a replacement, but as an enhancer of educational experience. The primary goal of this collaborative vision is to leverage AI's transformative potential in a way that acknowledges and addresses its limitations and challenges. AI in education should be seen as a tool to develop and augment human intelligence, facilitate deeper learning, and personalize educational experiences while maintaining a focus on developing the critical human qualities and abilities that define us. In this future, AI serves as a catalyst for enriching educational content, diversifying teaching methods, and creating more inclusive and accessible learning environments. However, the role of educators remains central. AI becomes a partner in the educational process, assisting teachers in enhancing their own teaching strategies and enabling them to focus more on the individual needs and holistic development of each student. Moreover, this futuristic vision recognizes the importance of nurturing skills and qualities that are uniquely human. In AI-enhanced education, emphasis is placed on cultivating creativity, critical thinking, empathy, and ethical discernment. These are the attributes that not only define our humanity, but also ensure that we use AI responsibly and thoughtfully. Christian education should be well positioned to thrive in this environment because this already matches our educational values. This vision also anticipates the continuous evolution of AI technologies, requiring an adaptive and flexible educational environment. It calls for ongoing professional development for educators, ensuring they are equipped to integrate new technologies into their teaching. It demands a curriculum that is dynamic and responsive to the challenging technological landscape, preparing students not just for the jobs of today, but for the challenges and opportunities of the future. In conclusion, the future of education with AI is not about diminishing human involvement or capacities, but about amplifying them. It is about creating a symbiotic relationship between human intelligence and artificial intelligence that enriches the educational experience and prepares learners for a world where AI is an integral part of life. By embracing this vision, we can ensure that education continues to be a journey for human empowerment and advancement. Thank you. Dr. Nirja Masi is going to lead our discussion.
So thank you very much. I'm really glad that both the speakers, they have really given very insightful presentations on artificial intelligence in secondary education by John Davis and by Dr. And also by Dr. Paul Shew, AI and Future of Christian Education, Balancing Innovation with Human-Centric Pedagogy. So now I invite questions from, or do we have questions in the chat box?
He'll check the chat. Okay, all right.
So any questions? I think it was a very good presentation, like by John Davis, when he has actually given very practical points on how to implement AI into the secondary school. And also, like what he is already doing, it is really encouraging for others to do, because they are very, very practical points regarding the use of AI. And like since the morning, we are talking about Christian perspective of integrating AI into Christian education. So that was very well brought out by Dr. Shew. And I will take this liberty of requesting Bishop Nakpil on commenting on the presentation by Dr. Shew. Bishop?
Well, actually, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of John?
Sure, please.
I have a question for you, John. One speaker to another. The reaction to ChatGPT and other generative AI at many schools has been to fear it and to prohibit it. Many educators see ChatGPT as a tool for cheating and plagiarism. So, so the initial response in many schools has been to ban its use. I'm curious what your reaction is to that. You have done a good job of showing how you're using it in your school and promoting it. But how do you deal with that reaction of some educators or administrators seeing generative AI as a danger or something that should be banned from the schools?
Yeah, good question. I kind of pity the educator who tries to ban AI from their schools, because it's like trying to ban air from schools, because it's just not possible. It's like trying to ban the internet or 4G or mobile phones entirely. I think the early attempts to ban AI is a classic, as you say, fear response to a new technology. Understandably so, because we still don't understand exactly what this technology is capable of. And there are clear and obvious concerns when it comes to plagiarism. And so I do understand why some school leaders would have felt the need to protect themselves and their children by banning AI. But I think if you think you can ban AI, you don't understand AI, and you don't appreciate that AI is integrated in everything and will be integrated into everything, even more so. You know, it started with ChatGPT, but now every browser, every mobile phone has got AI built into it as a default operating system, if you like. It's just the new way that we're going to do internet searches. It's like trying to ban Google search. You just can't achieve it. And so if you spend lots of time and resource trying to ban this technology, you are wasting a huge amount of time when you could be educating your staff and your students about it. It saddens me that some companies have made money out of trying to sell AI plagiarism detectors when they've been proven not to work. So it's just a massive waste of time and resource. The message I've given my teachers is this is happening whether you like it or not. And there's nothing you can do about it. So you may as well get on board and work out how to use it effectively and help the children use it effectively. So I think banning it is a fool's errand. The second thing I would say about plagiarism is, and this is the challenge bit now, it requires of us to rethink the way that we assess knowledge. Plagiarism is only possible if the assignments that we give to the students are AI capable. And by that, I mean, don't require any kind of uniquely human reflection or creativity. So I think what it's requiring of the education system, and by that, I don't just mean teachers, I mean examination authorities, is to completely rethink the way that we assess understanding. Now, that's quite a big, scary question. And what I think is happening is that teachers on the ground are evolving their practice faster than examination systems, because inevitably there's a lot of bureaucracy. So in the UK system, most subjects are still assessed in fairly traditional ways, with pens and paper and exam rooms, and university places are offered based on that paradigm. I suppose what's required now is a rethink about how we assess human understanding and human knowledge, which requires a lot of deep thinking at many, many levels. So we're at a tension point between what schools and teachers can do in their own local system versus what the national or international systems expect in terms of examinations. And so at the moment, schools are having to straddle the reality of the two, preparing young people for exams which aren't really AI informed at all, whilst also trying to teach in a way that's AI informed. So there's quite a big job on at the moment for schools to kind of straddle that divide. But banning AI is absolutely, in my view, the wrong step. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let me just, when we're doing a session like this on Zoom, you cannot see all of our reactions, but we're all nodding in agreement with you. Yeah, what you have just said is music to our ears, because apparently everyone here is very much in agreement with you on this. Thank you.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. And now I would ask the audience. So I think as teachers, we say in the classroom that when we don't have any question, that means we have understood it all. So like in the beginning, we were saying that we have, yes, please.
Yeah, actually, I totally with you, Paul.
Here it is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm totally with you regarding it's a tool in hands in terms of using the AI in the pedagogical way. But you guys have some tactics for control of the hand. I mean, the tool in hand. So tool, the AI is like a tool, but hands, my hands. So you have some tactic to develop or control the human hands. I mean, the spiritual way, or how can you control the human's mind, because the human is a hand, its hand just grab the tool. So it is a very nice point to pedagogical way, but is there a tactic to control or develop the hands, the human hands, such as the spiritual way or the mind or the emotional way? And the second question is that actually it is very very negative position is that, the ChatGPT is based on the English.
Yes.
And the information where there is the online. There are so many incorrect information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned the bias of using the ChatGPT. But how can we control the biased information and just using the English, which means kind of the new wave of the parliament, the language point?
Yeah.
So what would you think?
Two very good and difficult questions. The first one, I think, is the practical point that we can all agree that AI should be used to enhance education, but how do we do that practically? And it's very hard. And I think that we are now in the stage of trying to develop those practical ways to do that. This fall, last fall semester, I changed the curriculum of a course to focus on reflective essays. So every week, the students had to write a reflective essay about the content, not just to regurgitate facts. Previously, they had to provide information and facts and summarize, but I switched to more of a reflective position that forced the students to give their own opinion and feeling about the issues, because I know that they need more than just the facts.
Yes.
And it's for me, it was an experiment to get them to think about it, because I know actually I encourage them to use AI. But I think, and also I think that John Davis also talked about this. We have to change the way in which we teach and the way that we test students and that we test knowledge, because we need to assist the students to think deeply about these subjects rather than just to learn the facts. So that's, I think we have some ideas to start for the practical, but it's going to take time to develop. I think we're just at the beginning of that, and then the other question, I think that is actually the more difficult one. The fact that our AI systems are biased, and some people don't realize how biased they are.
Yeah.
If you are bilingual, you will know how biased it is. I use ChatGPT and Bard, especially, and they're both very good in English, but they're not nearly as good in Japanese. Yeah. ChatGPT's Japanese ability is good in that it can translate, but it tends to think in English. That's the problem. I want an AI system that will think in Japanese for me. There's a difference. There's a different result to the question if you're thinking in Japanese or thinking in English. No. ChatGPT is very obviously thinking in English and translating into Japanese. So it needs to think in Japanese, it needs to think in Korean, it needs to think in Hindi, and it needs to be multilingual, not just in producing the translation, but in the thought process. And I'm hopeful that as AI develops, that we can develop AI that are better at this. In a way, I think that China may have an advantage because China is doing a very good job at developing its own native AI. I think that many countries around the world are going to have to focus on developing their own native AI that can think in their language and culture, because otherwise it will be somewhat hegemonic and colonial, and I think that that's a danger of AI. For asking maybe the scientific question, it's not so much of a problem. But we use these things not just for the technical scientific questions, but for culture and theology and all of these things. And we need something that is well contextualized in our context. And that's a very difficult challenge for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just add a few things. Actually, OpenAI, who made the ChatGPT, already opened up the possibility to customize all the things according to the culture. And because in September last year, they announced the GPTs. That means you can customize your own GPT. So you can upload whatever material you wanna focus on and ask them to generate based on the text you uploading. And that will be the primary sources. And that is why if that is generated, more and more, and even you can create, your own GPT only for Yonsei University, and by uploading all the Yonsei University resources over there. So there is the possibility, to make it possible, and it's gonna advance. Okay, and also even you can make your own GPT, and then you can put that on the GPT store. And if other people work with you, and you don't get the money. So a lot of people is making their own GPT and with a lot of resources they have. And actually GBHM, which is the Education Board of the United Methodist Church, already agreed they're gonna upload all the scholarship resources and leading video, and they're gonna make the GPT for GBHM.
Yeah.
And then make it available within their website. And so that students can ask a question, and then they can get the direct without any report of hallucinations and the teachers, telling a lie. So, there is a system already developed. So I don't think, this issue, will be taken care of pretty soon, researching like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have, concern about,
Yeah.
new way of AI colonialism. They are developing.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we are out of time for our symposium. At the end, I would just like to say thank you very much to everyone who has attended today. I want to offer a very special thanks to the Asian Pacific Association of Methodist Educational Institutions, to the Board of Trustees, the Board of Directors for all of the assistance for this conference, to the Korean Academy of Christianity and Liberal Arts, and the very enthusiastic support and participation in this conference. You have made it a success, and we are deeply thankful for all of the contribution. I want to thank John Davies, as well as all of the other speakers today, both for this afternoon's session, as well as this morning, and for everyone else who made this conference a success. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. And
I want to make a special thanks to who were able to manage all the things, make it possible, and who is Dr. Shew. So let's give
And for our closing prayer, I would like to ask Bishop Nakpil if you would please offer the closing prayer for our event.
Pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for this occasion that has gathered us from many parts of the world to learn more about what AI means, especially in relation to education. We thank you for the experts who have presented papers. We thank you for the papers themselves that have told us a great deal about AI and what it might mean for us in education and for many aspects of life in this world. We thank you for the sponsors of this gathering. And Lord, we thank you for the minds that saw the truth of what AI might mean to the work that you have put upon our shoulders as educators. We ask that you may prosper what has taken place in this gathering. And may you continue to guide the leaders who are in the forefront of learning more about AI. We ask you, Lord, now to provide us with traveling nurses so that we may return to our homes and be with our families and share with them the enrichment that we have acquired in this gathering. Thank you, and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone who joined online. I'm going to close this session now. Thank you so much.